Okay, welcome everybody back to my channel. This is Christina with Medieval Romance, Jewelry, and Crafts. And I just wanted to hop on here and show y'all some of the containers and stuff that I use. This is my beading mat. This is a homemade beading mat. I'm cheap when it comes to some stuff, especially if I feel like I could do it myself. I didn't want it to be perfect. I actually made this when my son was a newborn because I want to be able to sit in my bed and bead with him laying there, and so I needed a beading mat because he still is a big mama's boy, but he always wants to be up against me or near me, and so that's why we made this, so I could still have him laid on the bed up against me while I was beading. And I had looked online, and all the beading mats I saw were $40 and up, and I wasn't working, and my husband had been laid off, and we just didn't have, and we had a newborn baby, and we have 2 other children. We just didn't have the money for that. So this is my homemade beading mat. Like I said, it's not perfect, but works for me. It's a mess right now. I'm playing around with some bead embroidery. So I'm going to throw a blanket over here like I normally do while I show y'all some of my containers and the types of containers that I get to do my bead storage in and organization. I've been working on my organization a little bit. It is hard because I am accumulating more beads, and I really have a lot of stuff that I need to get cleaned up. And I don't know if y'all did this, but I have an entire, oh, that's a magnet, a homemade magnet, an entire box of just old jewelry and old beads that I don't feel like are really high quality beads, but I don't want to throw them away. And so I'm accumulating more than one box of those, and I really need to go through them and figure out what I need to toss it. It's so hard for me to toss it out though. But anyway, okay, so I get a lot of storage containers from Arbor Freight. Love Arbor Freight. I watched another YouTuber, several of them, so I'm not sure which one to credit with the idea of Arbor Freight. If this looks a little dingy, it's because this was the one I was not using when I brought them home yesterday, and my son got a hold of them, and he had his bottle, he dumped milk all over it. He was playing all in it, so I tried to wipe it up for y'all, but these are the newest ones that I am really liking, and I got them to organize my bicones by colors in. And, oh, well, it might help if I open the sides up, but they have little dividers. I just wiped it out somewhere, so they have little dividers you can put in here and in here. I don't use them. I think I've used 1 or 2 of the long dividers and some other ones that I'll show you, but I really like these. Before these, let me show you. I was getting these. These are also from Arbor Freight, and they come with all these little containers. But what started happening was I started getting tubes and stuff, so I just emptied this one out because I bought a new container, and I'll show you in a minute. But I started needing the space because I purchased a lot of, let me grab them here, these little things from the Dollar Tree. And I put if I just have a little bit of seed beads left, I realized I didn't need this big container, so this is good for medium-sized beads, not too big of beads, because if you get bigger beads, you know, this has only got a couple beads in it, you know, well, a couple, I mean, it's not a lot, and these are large beads, so if you have a lot of them, a large quantity, you're gonna have to fill up several of these, like those big round faceted ones I got from Dollar Bead that I showed y'all in the last video. Those won't fit in here, so you know, I had to have different containers for different beads. So these, oh, okay, so in here, these are just random beads. These are just random beads. They're different shapes. I didn't have any other way to organize them. There's some round drugs in here. There's some faceted rounds, some oval beads. I've got some, these are really cool looking. I've made some little fairy lanterns with them. I don't know what you call these. Is there kind of a semi-faceted rectangle bead? I've got my laptop set up differently, so I'm not sure how well that's showing it, but they're really pretty. So just odds and ends in here. And again, I've got some beads in here that I don't feel like they're amazing quality and I want to clean out, but I don't want to throw them out. So this is the container. It's enormous. Let me move this out of the way. Again, these are from the Dollar Tree. These are amazing. I'll show you in just a minute in my seed bead box what I do with these, because they are perfect for seed beads. They're actually where the paints and stuff are at the Dollar Tree. So $1 for 8 little containers. Okay, this I just bought at Hobby Lobby yesterday. It was originally $24.99 and I got it with my coupon for like, I think it was $14.99. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. So I was extremely impressed. I have a friend, the only other person in my town that does beading, who showed me her containers that she got at Hobby Lobby. They were similar to this. They didn't have all the little containers in it. And that's what made me go look at Hobby Lobby, because I had not thought about Hobby Lobby and just like, oh, they're expensive. I'm not getting containers there. But I wanted to start organizing all of my round seed beads in here. Not my Delicas, just my round 11-0 seed beads, because I have my Delicas 11-0s in a different container, and I have my 15-0s in another container. So this is what I've done. I've tried to kind of go, and once I got it sorted out, I was like, oh man, it doesn't look like I have as many as I thought I did. But it kind of gives you an idea, especially when you're trying to go by color, like what colors you still need to get, which you don't have a lot of. But these I've done kind of raspberry tones and pinks and a little bit of peach. This is kind of a mauve. So, you know, you just organize them however you want to, but this is what I've done. These are all seed beads, 11-0 rounds. Here's the green. I think the green, yeah, the green was pretty full. So they are a little bit hard to open. I'm sure there's a little trick to open them that I haven't figured out yet. So these are all greens, olives. I went ahead and put the turquoise in there because it looked more green to me than blue. So I wanted to pop shut. Like I said, there's probably a little trick to closing these. Here I've got gold tones and yellows. Hope y'all can see that okay. I tried something new. I have some shelves up here above my table, and I've got my daughter's lamp on there pointing it down to see if the color and the lighting and everything shows up better. Oh, that's the gold one I just did. So these are all of the browns. Like I said, these are really... I don't have any fingernails either. When I get nervous, which is a lot since I'm stuck in the house right now, and, you know, everything's so uncertain, I get really anxious and I pick my fingernails off. Okay, so here are all of kind of my browns and my cream tones. This is kind of taupe color. Oh, okay, on here it says tarnished silver, but kind of reminds me of taupe color. I didn't have enough creams and whites to put in another one, but you can see this, I think you can see this whole side over here is empty, so that as I start getting more colored 11-0 round seed beads, I can add to here. Okay, so then the next one are coppers, and I went ahead and put in like this brown in here because it didn't, to me, it didn't fit in with the cream and the bronzes, the darker bronzes. So I put it in here with the coppers. And I'm going to show you all the rest of the stuff after I show you how to organize the seed beads. Gotta keep my baby happy long enough. He's napping. I always do my videos when he's napping. This is the blacks, silvers, hematite, white, but all those tones between black and white, you know, the grays and all that. As I said, once I got it poured out, I don't have hardly any white. But like that's good seeing that as you go through all this and organize it, because you can see like, oh my gosh, I don't have any of this color. It's just like orange. I don't do hardly anything with orange. That's the only orange that I've got. These are all reds, and I intend to put orange in here too. Reds, cherries, different colors of this is a metallic dark red. I don't have very much left of this. I use it in a little bead embroidery project that I experimented with, and I loved it, but it was one of those little bitty things that come from Michael's, and my parents had gotten it for me for my birthday when I was like 14, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to use it here. Then the last one is blues, blue greens. It's kind of a silvery blue, metallically blue iris. It's got purple and all kinds of tones in there. So yeah, I've got this. Oh, and like I said, these are those little containers from the Dollar Tree. And oh, here's the container I'm talking about from Michael's. I think this is where they got that from. But all of the seed beads that they purchased for me when I was younger and started learning how to do bead weaving, they all came in these. Like, I didn't have any tubes of beads when I was growing up, unless I, at the time, we didn't have a Hobby Lobby, and purchased them. Okay, so that's all that I put in my new giant box from Hobby Lobby. Really like it. I'm excited to fill it up. Okay, let me go to my next thing. I showed y'all the random beads here. Empty container, that's what I have my seed beads in, and I cleaned it out and put it in a big container. Okay, here's more seed beads. More seed beads. More seed beads. Okay, I'm gonna do all my seed beads. And then I'll do my SuperDuo since I've got them right here. Okay. These right here. These are my Delica seed beads. I've got a couple bags under this blanket on my beading mat that I was using. I just haven't put them away. And they're sliding everywhere. But these are all of my Delica seed beads. And I've taken, this is one of those boxes from Harbor Freight that came with this whole package of little containers. And I've just taken this out. I normally come packaged. The last one I bought, they weren't packaged. They were all in their loose. I appreciate when they're packaged because I can just store them like this. And if I need them, I can open them up. But I've taken those out and put my stuff in here because I've got so much that's bagged and tubed now that it fits in these containers well. And I like that they have the snap closure. Okay, these are my Toho rounds. This little container come from the Dollar Tree. I think it's like a little lunch container, but it had those snap things, and this was a little bit deeper. And I liked that I didn't have to fuss with having all those extra containers because I have so many little extra containers now that I don't know what to do with. But these are all of my 15-0s. All of my 15-0s. And I've got Tohos and Myokis in here, and I've got the Delicas and the rounds because I don't have enough to justify separating them out at this time. But those are all of my, my 15-0s. Hope you can see them. Okay. I know that if I was watching this video, I'd be like, oh, why didn't you go through each individual one? But I've got so much stuff to show y'all that my video is going to end up being like 2 hours long or longer if I did that. So if you have any special requests or wanted me to go through each individual box and show you everything, but I've shown y'all a lot of my new stuff that I'm getting in, and some of them were reorders. So yeah, okay, these are all of my 8-0s. I don't have any seed beads larger than 8-0s, so I don't have a container just for my 8-0s. I mean, for 6-0s. I don't have 6-0s. All I have are 8-0s as far as the largest seed bead that I have. So there's not another seed bead container after this. Okay. These little containers, this container I got from the Dollar Tree, and I ended up not liking it when I got it. And I had only bought 3. They were over in the teacher section for like desktop organization, I believe. And I realized I wasn't going to be able to fit. I can't remember what I actually bought them to organize. Maybe my bicones, that I didn't like the way they looked in here. They just didn't fit well. So I ended up giving them to my husband for his shed and his, tools and nuts or whatever, he's got down there. And this was the last one left here. And I picked it up the other day because I was like, oh, I can stick my SuperDuos in that, because I just had them stacked over in a little, little plastic, not a container. Let me see, I'll show you. In one of these. I just had them all tossed in one of these. These are all gemstones that I've just stacked in here that were not shaped as well as some of my other ones, or that were not drilled and they're an actual rock. Okay, these are all of my SuperDuos. I do not do a whole lot of stuff with SuperDuos. Every once in a while, I'll find something or I'll be inspired by something. And I'm like, oh, I want to try this. I want to try out this design using these. But it's not a whole lot. I just don't use SuperDuos a ton. My friend that does beading, and she will watch this, Sherry, she loves SuperDuos. She's amazing with working with SuperDuos and different shaped beads and two-hole beads, and that stuff doesn't come naturally to me. Like seed beads is my thing, so she's great at stuff with this. Her collection probably is far more impressive on her two-hole beads and SuperDuos than mine. I guess I'll finish going through the smaller ones before I go to how I organized my backhomes. And I do have some down here that are not completely organized yet because I'm still trying to figure out what to do with them. I think I might have already showed that one to you. Okay, these are all of my pearls. I've got some freshwater pearls in here. I've got some larger pearls down under here. And then teeny tiny pearls. And so yeah, these are all of my pearls. You can see all of them in there. All different colors. I've got another jar, a bigger jar of some brown freshwater pearls, and the holes on them are really tiny, so they're hard to work with, and they're a larger pearl. So, like, trying to get any kind of wire down through it just does not work. Okay, these are a bunch of the drops that I got in the last video from the Dollar Bead. I just left them on the strands and stacked them in here. I did all of my drops and briolets in this one. So I've got tons of briolets from like Fire Mountain Gems. These are just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Kind of remind me like a peacock color. How those are. I hope you can see them. Yeah, there we go. And they are really, really pretty. But these are from Fire Mountain Gems. But I've got all kinds of different briolets down in here. And then the drops are over there. For like my little dangles at the bottom of earrings or necklaces or bezeled crystals, which we'll get to. The crystal box is crazy. It's overflowing, and I'm actually probably going to use that extra container I have to organize and separate out my my Czech Preciosa and my Swarovski from more of what I want to be more of my practice crystals, which would be like the Chinese crystals. Okay, these are all of my rondelles. Oops, you should not be there. There's all my rondelles in here. You can see them. Why am I too close? Okay. And I've got all different sizes in here, and I love rondelles. I think they're a beautiful, beautiful bead. Okay. These are all gemstone beads and crystals, like what I don't have in that other box that I showed you. There's some turquoise, there's some white highlight, lava stone, amethyst, rose quartz, gold stone, and I have some more. I actually have some more gemstones coming that I ordered that were on sale because someone had to keep emailing me that they were having a sale. I think this is crackle agate, and these are beautiful. I spilled them when I was organizing, so I just left them down in there, but I love, oops, yep, lost it. I love these. Love the colors. They're like a really warm orange and yellow tone. I mean, they just scream fall, which I love and can't wait for it to get here. Okay, now I think I went through that. Where are all of my findings? I'm not sure where I set all of that. Maybe I didn't. Give me one second here, guys, because I don't want to be skimping. Oh, okay, here we go. And there's my crystals. These are my findings. I've tried to organize them by colors, and I've just done, here's all antique bronze. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I did copper in here because I don't have a whole lot of copper, and I have lots of antique bronze. That's probably my favorite to work with as far as findings go. Crystals. I thought I'd already been missing finding. What did I do with them? Oh, okay, I've got the gold one. Oh, they're in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to buy another container for this because I stole the container. But this, I don't work a lot with gold color because I don't care for it. So this is just one of those little pop-up cheap things from the Dollar Tree. And it came, actually no, I got this at Dean Baker's, but it's the same concept as the bigger ones from the Dollar Tree that are $1. But this came with 2 in 1. And so I've just got all my little gold findings sitting down in here because like I said, this gold is just not my favorite to work with. But I do have enough findings for gold. This is all of my silver tone bindings down in here, and I've got a loose bead cap. All of my silver findings down here. I did another container of charms, and I think they're down here, so we'll get to that. Okay, these are all of my crystals, and they are just, oh, they're overflowing, as you can see. They're falling out as I'm showing them to you. Oh, there went my light. Hold on momentarily. I knocked my lamp down. But yes, okay, so these are all the crystals. I've had this container, that's why it looks so dirty. I've had this container here since I was 12, and I have 2 of these, and that's where all those little boxes that I was showing you that were in my seed beads, some of them, I think they're one right here, I'll show you in my, that's where all these, this was full of these types of containers. And they're fine, but after a while, this little closure here wears off. And so it was happening, because this is so old, they'd pop open and I'd have seed beads dumped all over in this. And so I was like, no, I'm done. I'm not using that for seed beads anymore, ever again. But yeah, so I stuck my crystal in them, and I ended up putting the little boxes, the plastic containers from Arbor Freight in these because the crystals fit in here better. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to sort these and end up putting my nicer, higher quality crystals into a different container at some point. Okie dokie, I think we are down to the bicones. It's random. Yes, okay, so here's all of my bicones. And what I've done is I sorted them by color just like I did my seed beads. So here I've got greens. I did not hardly have any pinks when I started sorting, so I ended up sticking the pinks in here. I originally had them in with my purple bicones, but I have a ton of purple. I think I put my purple with blue. Okay, no, I have a ton of blue, and I wanted the purple to go in with my blue. And so the pink I just stuck in here with the green. Now, in the future, if I end up getting more pink tones, then, you know, I'll start another container for them. But for right now, this is what I have. I know it looks sparse since I've separated out and organized all the colors. But don't worry, they will get filled in. And then here's all of my blue and purple tones. Sure hope that's showing up good because that's really pretty. Don't get too close there. My computer, just so y'all know, is a 2-in-1 laptop, so it flips around as a tablet, and it doesn't have, like, the camera's just on the front, and so I have a hard time. It's not like a phone, like, you know, you can flip it around so I can see, like, I can be looking on the back of my phone while it's recording and see, and this is flipped, so I'm over here, and I can, like, kind of duck down to look and see where everything's at, but it's not easy. It's very hard to do. So I think, I'm not sure what other people use. If you've got any ideas, leave me a comment. I kind of thought about getting a webcam. I'm not sure people still use those. Okay, these are all of my orangey tones, yellow tones, red tones, and they filled up the box really nicely. Got a little bit of bronze there. I'd like to get more because I really like working with these browns and bronze, metallic-y bronze. And then I went ahead and stuck my mixed beads in here. I could probably stick those 2 bags that I got from the Dollar Bead. I could probably stick those in one that's not as full, but I think this was the last box I worked on, so I just stuck them in here. That one's definitely fuller. And this is all of black, gray, hematite, crystal colors. And I went ahead and put these in here too from the dollar bead because they looked more gray, like a silvery gray to me than anything. So, yep, that's what I got. And these are just beautiful. I don't know if y'all can see the shimmer on them. It's like got a double AB finish on it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The reflection and sparkle coming off of that. Oh, I will tell y'all on these, this has got a stout closure. I mean, it is strong. And when I was first closing these, I accidentally had some little green bicones stuck in here, and it actually broke a couple of my bicones. So just be careful when you're closing it that you're aware, because these are really stout closure. This I did a random bead and charms. I've got a lot more charms than this, but I have another just chaos box that's got broken jewelry and random stuff like that in it, and I had been filling that up with charms, and so I've kind of tried to start transitioning into this, and as I clean and become a little bit more organized, hopefully, I will probably make another charm box. Okay, now we have, what is this one? These are all those random beads. So basically mainly in here are the round faceted beads. I've got the rice beads, and then I have a little bit of those oval beads. But these are the majority of the beads that were really large that I got because I wanted some big beads from the dollar bead. All this here I believe is from dollar bead. This is from the Dollar Bead Club. So it's not the Dollar Bead. You have to be a paid member. That's those vintage rice beads that I had shown y'all. Not the black, this one. Those are those vintage rice beads that I had shown y'all. So that's the only thing in here, I believe. That's from a different place besides the Dollar Bead, which is another site. I used to get them confused, like when I go to type them in my search bar on my computer or on my phone. I'm always like, no, that's not the one I wanted to go to. And this is my fire polish. Everything in here is 4mm and smaller, so they don't take up a lot of space. And I've organized them by color too. This orange was a random one because it's the only one orange that I had. And like I told you, red is hard to find. This is this one and this teeny tiny one here. These are 2mm and this is a 4mm. Are the only red fire polish that I have. And I don't have any other orange. Bicones were the same way. There just wasn't a whole lot of different red tones for bicones. I just didn't really have any. So when I find them, I try to grab them up. In case I want to use that color, I've got it. Okay, on this is the last thing. I hope I didn't just put my whole back arm in there. I did, I'm so sorry. This is the last thing that I've got to show y'all as far as my organizing stuff goes. And it's all my wire and my chain. And I actually have some pegs on the wall beside me where I hang a lot of my chain. But I ended up ordering a bunch of extra. And I only had one for each color as far as pegs go. And so I put it in here. And then I've got some wire that I had played around and done wire wrapping with. And it was fun. I like to try new things. But beading is my thing. And so I always come back to my beads. Love my beads. So that is all. I think that's all that I have to show y'all for today. So if you liked this video and you want to see more, please click the subscribe button and like this video so it'll be popping up on your feed. Like I said, I'm working on this beading and embroidery right now, so that's what I'm fixing to continue to do if my child will allow it. This is a little inchy. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's actually a 1.5 by 1.5, but you fill in a 1 by 1 square. So I've left this extra to sew around the edges when it's complete. But you can see I'm trying to work with a little bit of that Swarovski cup chain in there, which I told y'all would. And then I went and got these. I got these at Hobby Lobby because I had my rondelle so long that I'm not great on rondelle sizing. And when I do the tutorial for the earrings, if I can get it off there that I had showed y'all, I wanted to be able to tell you the correct size of rondelle that I'm using. You'll be able to use whatever size you want and figure out like how much seed beads you need to fit around it for your netting there. But I wanted to be able to tell you all the correct size, so I went and got them today, and they are 6 by 8 millimeter rondelle. So that's what I'll be using for this middle bead. And then these beads after it are a smaller 3 by 4 millimeter rondelle, and then 4 millimeter bicones. Like I said, it'll be real flexible on the size of beads, and I hope to get that video made for y'all this week sometime. Like I said, it'll be my first tutorial for you guys, so it may not, I'm sure it won't be perfect. I will drop beads and spill beads, and that's just me. So anyway, yes, please, like I said, subscribe, and stay tuned for that video to come, and everybody stay safe and have a great weekend. Bye.